We're Rose Street Capital, and we're an e-commerce and consumer fund. Sort of with the long, boring things about how we are not giving you financial advice. Please don't invest based on what we say today. And we are a fund that started this year, focusing mainly on e-commerce and brands. There are many reasons to invest in e-commerce. I'm not going to go into any of them today. But to give you a brief picture of what we do, we bought into shampoo. So if anybody watching this is interested in shampoo, please feel free to reach out and we'd be happy to tell you about it. We're currently doing our second close. We did our first close for our first fund earlier this year. And so when we finish the second close, we're going to move on to some other things afterwards, which is also quite interesting. But a little bit about me. I think I'm very privileged to come on interview with Mariana. Other people who come on to these sessions are quite prestigious and well-known. And it's very, very flattering to be invited to be here in this company. What we do at Rose Street Capital is not super amazing. We're not pursuing incredible gains, and we don't pursue massive valuations. We do pursue being human and being individuals. And I can go more into that in a bit, but that's a particular point that we're very focused on. This is my agenda for today. So later on when we're doing Q&A, I'm super happy to talk about the next 3 slides, and that's all I have to bring to today's conversations.
Actually, you can go ahead and present and just talk a little bit more about what do you see as opportunities in e-commerce right now, because this has been around for quite some time, and it would be just interesting to see your perspective on it.
Yeah, very much, Marianne. That's literally exactly the slide. So on one side, if we think about opportunities, we can also think about ways to lose an incredible amount of money, which is what happened to a lot of people in the recent weeks or today with several crypto projects. So when we think about volatility, we also think about investing in the private markets as a way to diversify. And with e-commerce versus a lot of other regular investments, we are even more grounded in valuation and revenue growth of brands. And so we're really in the study of how to grow brands and to profit off of it. And it's a little bit different because we're not after massive gains as other places could get. But on the other hand, we're focused on people buying things. And so as long as people eat or want to have dinner, and as long as people want to live somewhere, whether in physical worlds or in virtual worlds, that is what we're focusing on. And that's what we think about with consumers too, with how people buy things and create the lifestyles that they want. In terms of a longer term trend that Mariana, you're talking about as opportunities, right now we're not entirely focused on the Web3 crypto space, not because we cannot, but because it hasn't come to us yet. I think it will happen in the next few months. And we think it would look different in a few different ways. We're not very qualified to teach people how to invest in NFTs or DeFi or other ways to make money, but we look at technology trends. So the first technology trend that we focus on here is that we believe that open source code is always superior to closed source code in private enterprises, which is a very difficult thing for an investor to say, because we like to protect our IPs and have moats. But that's been established in the last few years. The next step beyond that, what we're seeing inside blockchain and Web3 in the last year or two, is we think that business models can be open source in the same way code has been open source and would cause massive amounts of confusion as open source code did in the beginning. The last part about this is on governance. And governance borders onto government. And the only thing I care about with governments, aside from safety, is tax. And so as I am physically somewhere, I pay tax to someone. As I work for an employer, if I did, I would pay with my time. And so these ways to think about governance with people and our ways to participate inside an organization, for example, a business, I think would call into questions several things that would impact investments in the long term. And the impact for us is just consumers, which is people who buy things whenever we want to eat or find new brands. And brands, which is people who want to reach consumers, and the infrastructures that facilitate both. I guess one last thing to summarize this in a very easy way is I think we've seen in the Web3 space and in blockchain, it just moves every kind of category into fintech. Like back in the day, there used to be ag tech or health tech or legal tech or ad tech, different kinds of tech. And you just find an industry and you add a tech to it. I think with crypto and blockchain and Web3, instead of adding tech to it, we would be adding fintech to everything. So my closest example is my phone is now a bank. And there will be other ways to think about it. So that's who we are. We're Rose Street Capital.